Now, if you can't lose weight no matter what you eat, and you've tried a low carbohydrate diet, a ketogenic diet, low-calorie diets, counting calories, and even skipping meals, this video is for you. We all know diets don't work because, frankly, your body is super smart and programmed to reject anything unhealthy. Diets that make you run out of energy, have brain fog, and have cravings are all unhealthy. And you gain weight because your body is trying to find the right foods that will give you energy, make you razor sharp, and squash those cravings. Unfortunately, this trial and error process requires you to eat calories which are stored on your body as fat. Now, first of all, it's very normal and natural to store fat, which protects you against times of food shortage. Think about bears and how they pack on weight before hibernation. They eat literally tons of sweet fruit and fish, and then they stop eating for months. Unlike bears who have to look for food, our modern lifestyle doesn't require us to ever leave our house to eat. Between the fridge, pantry, and smartphone, you have access to calories 24/7. There really isn't a day to get a break. And less than one generation ago, people were super skinny because they had no access to unlimited food when they did eat. Now today, people eat multiple meals or snacks all day long. Both are not natural for your body, even though it is a normal behavior for today's society. That triggers a constant stream of growth hormones that make you gain weight. Now, how do you overcome this hurdle? Start by making an appointment with yourself to eat. Just like you need to make an appointment with your teacher to learn the day's lesson, your doctors to show up at their office, your boss to show up at your job, you need an appointment for 20 to 30 minutes twice a day to sit down and chew your food. The act of chewing actually stimulates hormones in your brain to turn off hunger. So when you drink your food like that fancy coffee blend or eat foods that require very little chewing like the cookies and donuts, not only are they packed with calories, but you will eat more because you're not turning on satiety hormones that turn off hunger. Manufactured foods are brilliantly crafted to prevent you from being full and to keep you eating. Now, the perfect example are foods created with the chemical sugar. And you may be surprised to learn that sugar is a chemical. A chemical is simply something that can't be broken down without changing it into something completely different. When your body breaks down sugar, it turns it into energy molecules called ATP. You are naturally made to be addicted to sugar because you need ATP to live. It is your electricity in your home, the gas in your car. Therefore, your brain is wired to seek sugar because it is your body's natural fuel. Unfortunately, sugar makes your brain eat even more sugar, even if you're not hungry. Now, every time you eat sugar, you reinforce that natural drive and motivation to seek more sugar. Manufacturers know this science. That's why there is a fancy coffee shop at every corner and a Slurpee dispenser at every gas station. Parents, you may feel better by giving your children a natural alternative such as juice or smoothies, but just know you're still feeding them sugar because juice really isn't much better than that red color Slurpee. This is also why every sugary drink store sells other sugary treats. This is a natural drive for your brain to protect you against starvation. But the problem is society never lets you starve. You never get a break from looking and smelling some kind of sugar. Now, you may be the person who avoids sugary desserts and sugary drinks, but you may be missing the hidden sugars in processed foods. Take a look at your sauces, salad dressings, dried snacks, spice blends, and restaurant foods. Usually, there's some kind of sugar to add to the flavoring. Now, there are over 50 names of sugar, and some may seem healthy, like beet sugar, cane sugar, coconut sugar, honey, etc. Just know that they are all sugar and they all drive your brain to seek more sugar. So you may be wondering, why is it so bad if your body needs sugar? Well, this wouldn't be a problem if you didn't have 24/7 access to sugar. So the problem is in the amount. Most people are eating 60 pounds of sugar a year. And just like anything toxic, the poison is in the dose. Sugar directly increases hormones to make you gain weight. This hormone is called insulin. And when there is a constant high level of insulin in your body, every time you eat anything else, it will go up some more, especially if you eat carbohydrates like bread, pancakes, and even white rice. Even though they are not broken down into simple sugar, they are easily broken down into that sugar. And this is a recipe to gain weight. This is why diabetics who just make their sugars look normal by injecting more insulin gain more weight. Unfortunately, this weight gain comes with a cost of health, such as blindness, infections, and heart attacks. Now, you may be using artificial sweeteners or low-calorie or no-calorie sweeteners instead of sugar and think that you can lose some weight with that. Well, you're going to be surprised to learn that in reality, it makes you gain weight. And here's why. These chemical sweeteners actually make you eat more food, and it makes you eat later on in the day. And so when you do eat, you're over-secreting your insulin to overcompensate. And remember, high insulin makes you gain weight. And so when you eat that new food, you already have high insulin levels, you're just going to gain weight so much easier. And the food industry puts these artificial and natural plant-based chemicals, so you simply are addicted to sugar and you buy more of their food. You're also going to be surprised to learn that you actually gain more calories eating later in the day. So even if you change nothing else and eat the exact same food, just by eating that food in the morning and skipping dinner, or really making dinner your smallest meal, can help you lose weight. And this is why night shift workers gain a lot of weight. Nighttime is the worst time to eat because you're naturally more insulin resistant, so it is easier to gain weight. Now here's another surprising ingredient that makes you gain weight: sodium. Now I'm not talking about retaining water, even though the more salt you eat, the more water you will gain, because salt and water travel together. But did you know that salt also stimulates your appetite to eat because it makes you resistant to the appetite-suppressing hormone leptin? This is why your soda has sodium and snacks are salty. Now, the salt you add at the dinner table, that's probably okay. The problem is in the processed food. Bread is actually the #1 way people get their salt. Not only do breadsticks and pretzels have salt sprinkled on top, but people cover breads in salty sauces and spreads, and there is salt added to the flour to cover up the unpleasant aftertaste. On top of that, many people eat bread with cheese, which is salty in itself. There's also a lot of salt added to marinate your meat or deli meat or red meat, really to hide the metallic taste and other unpleasant aftertastes. And there is one more surprising way salt makes you gain weight. It actually makes your body make the sugar fructose. Now, you may be avoiding high fructose corn syrup, but when you eat a lot of salt, you're actually creating that sugar in yourself. Manufactured foods don't just pack sugar and salt. They usually add that with a lot of fat. And fat is the most energy-dense nutrient and has twice as many calories as proteins and carbohydrates. And this means you will meet your caloric needs with half as much food if you're eating a high-fat diet like a ketogenic diet. The average American eats roughly 30% of their calories from fat. Now, I'm not going to talk about good fat and bad fats. That's really for another video. However, you don't need to eat fat to make fat and to store fat. Any excess calorie from the proteins and carbohydrates you eat or the fats and the alcohol you drink will all be saved as your body as fat if you don't use it. Now, your body is just so good at saving for a rainy day. And you will be surprised to hear that fat also increases insulin production. Now, how does it do that even though it's really not a sugar? Well, fat makes you insulin resistant so that you need more insulin to take care of the sugar and carbohydrates you eat. And remember, the higher the insulin, the more weight you will gain. And this is why ketogenic diets make you insulin resistant. But what's even worse than a ketogenic diet, and really the worst diet ever for weight gain and health, is a high-fat, high-sugar, high-salt diet, essentially eating pizza and desserts. They're the classic foods that fit this profile. And even if you're eating less of these foods, if your body is used to metabolizing a certain amount of these chemicals, it will think something's wrong when you cut them down. And then it's going to shut down your metabolism to conserve energy because it's thinking you're starving. The hurdle to getting off these foods is to help your body understand that you aren't in danger of starving and that you won't need to slow your metabolism. Better yet, you want your body to increase your metabolism and make more energy so that your body feels better and you are mentally sharp, and most importantly, your body doesn't go into survival mode and switch your metabolism down. Because if it does that, it's going to make you sedentary and it's going to make you feel isolated. And you'll be surprised to learn that a lot of nutrients actually protect against this bad spiral and promotes weight loss and gets your body healthier. You have probably heard the benefits of a group of nutrients called fiber, but you'll be surprised to learn how fiber can help you lose weight. Here's the secret. The key is eating fiber in its original form. And this is why your fiber supplement and that fiber cereal or bar doesn't help you lose weight. Manufactured foods, because of the extraction and heat, destroys the weight protective benefits of fiber. Sure, you can still relieve constipation, improve heart disease, and reduce colon cancer, but the structure and fiber wall that gets destroyed, that's what's protective against weight gain. Now, I'm talking about eating whole grains, whole beans, nuts, and roots like sweet potatoes as just a few examples. Now, if you think about it, eating these foods makes you chew longer. And remember how I said chewing helps you get full. Also, it takes a lot of energy to chew and then push that high fibrous food down your throat, through your gut, and in the toilet. This all increases metabolism. Fiber also shuts off your appetite. And by expanding your stomach or absorbing water and activating that leptin, this all makes you full. And because you can't digest fiber, it forms a compact protective wall in your gut, delaying the absorption of the calories like sugar, protein, and fat that's packed inside the fiber so that you don't get insulin resistant. And that's why the sweet potato works so well. You'll be even more pleasantly surprised to hear that Mother Nature makes these plants with vitamins like vitamin B, minerals like zinc, and special phytonutrients that not only increase your metabolism, but they also help your body naturally detox and recycle itself. This all uses energy, which all sums up to increase metabolism, reduce inflammation, and weight loss. And there's one more surprising bonus. Even though technically you can't digest fiber and get calories from it, fiber is the main food for good gut microbes, which produce more beneficial chemicals that increases your metabolic rate. And in fact, when you eat beans, even canned beans, it's been shown not only to help reduce your insulin, control your sugar, and lose weight during that meal that you eat it, it actually works the next day. Now that's one powerful recipe to lose weight and get healthy. You may say you're eating a lot of whole plants already, but if you're eating it in the wrong form, you will gain more weight. Remember how I said fiber doesn't work well when you destroy it by blending or heating it? So if you're eating most of your plants processed into bakery items like bread and bagels, or if you are putting high dry heat like baking or grilling, you are destroying some of the protective benefits of fiber as well as some of the vitamins. Now first, dehydration simply makes food more calorically dense. So less food will give you more energy. Dried fruit has more calories than fresh fruit per cup, simply because it takes more dry fruit to fill the same cup. Now sometimes sugar and salt is snuck into that dried fruit to make you gain more weight and make it even tastier. That's why it's important to check your labels or to eat your raw fruits and vegetables daily. So what does this all mean for your daily life? I had promised to tell you a winning strategy to get to a healthy weight. Here is a 8-week strategy for success. But before you start, you need the right mindset. Eating is a life journey, not a temporary thing to do. And this is why diets fail. To overcome this hurdle, you need to build healthy habits. It's like a tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady ultimately wins the race. So start by committing to a new habit every week. And here are 8 habits to work on. In the first week, make an appointment with yourself to eat or drink anything with calories. You should train your body into being appointment free, so no food for about 10 to 12 hours a day. That means no calories from solid food or liquid food when you're sleeping. And then you add a couple of hours before and after your sleep. So if you sleep, let's say 8 hours a day, 2 hours before is 10 hours, 2 hours after is 12 hours. Now initially it may be hard to do, so plan on having water handy and drink water whenever you feel like snacking. That brings us to the second habit during the second week. Drink a couple glasses of water before any meals or snacks. Just keep doing that. During the third week, when you are eating, start by eating your meals or snacks with something hydrating, like a fresh bowl of fruits or salads. If you are snacking a lot, just make eating fresh produce a habit before you snack. And before you know it, you may not need anything else to satisfy your hunger. During the fourth week, learn to eat some beans daily. And whether you start off with tofu or canned beans, they're a great addition to your metabolism and your health. Go slow, as fiber may make you feel uncomfortable and bloated and gassy, and it may take you a few weeks to work up to 3 cups a day. Now just start with 1 bean per meal, and then slowly add more and more beans daily. During the 5th week, let's stop drinking anything with calories. Skip the coffee with sugar and milk in the morning. Skip the juice or soda or Slurpees. Instead, make your own coffee sugar-free and try to put some whole fruit with twice as much water in a blender to make yourself a sweet drink if you need to do that. And every day, put less fruit and more water, and eventually the goal is that you just eat the fruit and not blend it. During the 6th week, work on your salt. Read your labels and avoid anything with high sodium, which is more than 5% in a serving. And this is true whether it's sweet or savory. And just by doing this, you will eliminate some of the worst foods on the market. Now, during the 8th and last week, work on reducing your processed manufactured foods. So ready-made foods, deli-made foods, bakery-made or restaurant-made is not only expensive, but it's unhealthy. This means you're going to need to learn how to do some food prep and not to go to work empty-handed. Now, not all ready-made food is bad. Fresh and frozen vegetables and fruits are excellent. Instant oatmeal is great. Canned unflavored bean and fresh or frozen tofu are cheap. Unsalted nuts and seeds are delicious. And if you mix and match this combination with some of your favorite spices, you can have really affordable, healthy meals and snacks. And this is by far the most challenging task to do. So make yourself a list and look at it daily and teach yourself what is manufactured foods. You'll be surprised that your list is going to grow and grow and grow as you keep being a studious student. And remember, habits just need to be repeated. And if you make a mistake, if you fall off the wagon, that's okay. Just start over and just keep trying. If you want to learn more about specific details on exactly which foods increase your metabolism, check out this next video.